Here to speak tonight, Purvey?
No, sir. Unless you want me to.
Somebody better be. All right. Word of prayer. We'll do the pledge when we get to the board meeting in just a minute, but if you would bow and pray with me. Father God, thank you for allowing us to come together. We've still got folks coming tonight. Please get them here safely. We want to thank you for a good event that we had Saturday and a good event coming up this Wednesday and the things that are going on in Brandon all around us. Help us, keep us focused on the many good things because we know that your hand could take a lift off of Brandon, Mississippi in a heartbeat. So keep us in your light, hold us close. Keep your name on the tip of our tongues and bless all that we do in the name of the people that we serve. In the blessed name of Jesus we pray. Amen. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Feels like morning. Yeah. All right. As usual, I'll start this off with four subjects, and I can talk very slowly. And by the end of Monday, I'm telling you, Mondays are like 3 days wrapped into one. It just kind of comes at us from every which direction. Thank you for these microphones. Can you hear me all right back there, Dustin? Charles, Cliff, can y'all hear me okay online? Okay. All right. Here we go. So that's basic agenda there. I think I added one thing at the bottom. If we get time, we'll talk to it, and that is the water sewer project that we have a grant through MDA, and we took bids on that. I've already shown you that, but I wanted Matthew to speak to that. We'll either do that if we have time in this work session, the last thing, Matthew, or we'll do it when we get to it in Public Works. And yes, we see a gift over here for Public Works Director. So I don't know, I'll let you have to decide if you want to get him to open that in here or not. But he's coming up on a year, and he's got a very special gift there that he... No, Tim's not had anything to do with that, I promise. I promise. It's all for you. It came out of your mouth. All right. A review here. We're going to recess this meeting tonight and come back together on August 27th, working on it. We're, again, not in any killing hurry. We started this. We're really 2 solid weeks ahead of schedule, which is great. Wish we could do that all the time. But we'll come back together, and then we'll come back together again on Thursday, August 27th, to adopt a tax levy. But if you need to be, and Mary Ann, if you would, just make a reminder to keep us all focused on those dates. Send everybody an email the day before that we've got that coming up. Main Street's here tonight. Y'all want to say anything about the grant application? It's kind of hard to see. I hope you can see it on your screens in front of you. The red dots, they go all the way down College Street to Jasper Street and then all the way down to Mary Ann. Matthew, might you have a dollar figure of what that might add up to? I think we were speaking in terms of $425, $450, somewhere in there.
I believe the maximum grant amount is $500,000.
It is.
So we'd be trying to maximize it. We make an adjustment there if we need it.
Okay. All right. So those have been do a light analysis, and they're spaced accordingly. And I don't remember what that number is, but it's more than 40. Crossgates Drive, Trent has done a good job. He estimates this as a $30,000, $33,000. He's gotten a couple of quotes on this. I asked Matthew what it was going to take to totally rebuild that island on Crossgates Drive coming in off Crossgates Boulevard. He thinks it'll be somewhere, we're going to bid it, it'll be somewhere between a 50 and a 55 project. Matthew, is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we will get to work on that. We'll get a bid package to you hopefully in the next 2 weeks, and we can get that out for bid. And you know what we'd like to do is once this one gets approved and gets under construction, then we'd like to step over to Stonegate and begin to do the same thing. What I'm asking you, and I think what Trent would like to do, I asked him just to narrow it down to one nice look, and that would face Crossgates Boulevard. That wouldn't face down the street. That would face Crossgates Boulevard with uplights on it, so that you see it when you're driving by as a night's entrance, and then we'll complement that as we go around Crossgates. So if you're good with that look, if you're not, then I'll get with Trent and we'll rebuild it again. Uplights, yeah. Yes, from the ground coming up. In that particular island, there was a light pole, for those you don't remember, the reason why we had to take it out, somebody ran over it. We've already had discussions about putting big rocks and halfway burying them in the ground before this and after it, so that you're gonna hit a rock and go before you should get to this. So if we're gonna spend that kind of money and make that kind of improvement, we need to do all we can do to protect it. You got the MPO quarterly project reports in front of you, all of those, and those 7 things I put out there again, just the resurfacing, congestion mitigation, which there hadn't been a lot of that in the last few years because MDOT just hadn't had the money to support that. So we focus on bridge repair. A lot of that goes to Jackson and Hinds County. Transportation alternatives, we have been able to tap into that. We have been able to tap into safety on all these intersections and signals. So we've done those through that earmark. We did get an earmark years ago, and that was used to complete cultural and what else? Cultural assessment and something else out here on the east loop of the Highway 18 loop. So we finished that. That was a $600,000 thing. And then interstates and state highways. Every now and then we can squeeze some in there. But you can see those and peruse those. I think it's good, at least it is for me, to study what other, and good for Matthew and good for Alex. It's good for us to know what everybody else is doing, kind of keeps us on target. And in MPO, we strategically did the things at the top to make people move on money. So we have pretty stiff timelines to move, and if you don't move, then the money goes back in the pot, and we can put that out for projects later on down the road. Don't hear any inklings of a call for projects coming up anytime soon. Could be middle of next year or something, I'm sure. Probably the third quarter of next year, after the midterms are over, there'll probably be some money moving, and we'll see. But we need to get going. There is somewhat of a freeze. There's a hesitation on MDOT's part right now. They've got a big project going on from Pearson Road through, on the interstate, on I-20, through Clinton. And it's making them take pause on everything before they'll give us approval to move forward with these. So we're working as fast as we can, as hard as we can, to get up and going, and just leave us alone and let us do our job. Because there's no state money in those MPO projects. Rarely. I hope you saw the announcement today for the homecoming parade. First call I got was making sure that this was just for the homecoming parade. It's not for the Christmas parade, not for the Mardi Gras parade. They will still be downtown. Had a long conversation with the school. They actually came up with this idea, and we went to the police, went to fire. I like the idea. It keeps all those kids out there for a big pep rally in the day. And thank you to First Baptist Church to allow the parade to meet up in the parking lot there and begin and come in. And so it just saves the residents of Brandon, saves kids in downtown, saves businesses, saves people coming home from church, coming and going home from work, and all the congestion in September in downtown area. So hope you'll look forward to this. It's easier for the police department to block 2 ends of that and direct traffic around it. And we'll just kind of isolate that with all those young drivers out there, and hopefully have a good time. Telling me that they have 4, 9th, 10th, 11th grade, have skits that they do on stage. They'll have all the football players there in the band, so it looks like a really good thing, and all the maids of honor will come in, and hopefully we'll just have a safe and glorious time out there for a Christmas parade. So if this works out well, I'm sure it'll be an annual thing. We'll work it out. Any questions on that? All right. Economic impact studies. Some of you weren't on the board when we went through this. So the first one was May of 2015. We did one on the amphitheater. The first ones we did by Brian were very, for lack of a better phrase, rudimentary. They just, they did what we needed them to do, but they weren't, to me, a lot of science and a lot of detail in those. So I know some of you weren't on the board when we did those, but you have a copy of that in front of you. So in 2020, we did another one on youth sports facilities, and while we were doing that, we added another one. So we kind of did an update to it in February of 2020. You've got that one in front of you as well. And the reason why I give you these older ones is to make a comparison to the discussion we're going to have tonight, which is an item on the agenda. And there's the one we did on sports facilities. And I know that we're getting one done out of the sports facilities group out of Clearwater. We'll get one out of them as well. And I would like to pay for one. And the reason why you've got this that I built this back in '23, and we tried to maintain this in the office, and I haven't gotten back to it since then. But you and I are in the need of a economic point in time of where we are. I've been hit by a couple of businesses in the last couple of weeks, and I think it'd greatly benefit us if I could provide current data to them. These are substantial. One of these is a substantial of interest to Brandon, and we'll talk about that later tonight in executive session for a moment. But I need data, and I can build this data. You got it in front of it. And this is the raw data that someone that has the knowledge to complete an economic development study will do. You can't hear me? I hear that crickets too. Oh, I said AC upstairs on the roof. It's the air conditioning on the roof. Yeah, it's coming through that vent right there. If one of you would make a note to remind me to talk to Brandon in the morning. I'm sure that it could be something as silly as a pulley. Hey man, glad you made it. We had some questions last time about events and what's going on there. I condensed everything that Charles gave me into some pages. You got this stamped down so you can just throw the months away as we go by them. I'm just telling you, this is out of date as probably right now from when we made this 3 days ago. It just changes that quick. But you've got a snapshot of what's going on as far as events are concerned in August, September, October, November, and December, right down the line as to the date. I'd say it is 85 to 95% accurate to this point in time, and people change their minds and things come in and things go out just about every day. I do want to ask you, board, though, we're going to do the same thing we did last year at the vault. We're going to have a dinner at the vault, and I need to do a head count and who's going to participate. If you could let me know that, I'd very much appreciate that. I'll be contacting you, everyone. I need to develop that list post haste. Okay, so would appreciate you thinking about that. Okay, that's fast enough. So I got to the end of this. All right, so we've got. You want to come up and say a few words to the board about an economic development study? Come on in. You ain't gonna hurt nothing. Come on in here and sit down somewhere. All right. And now you gonna introduce yourself, sir? And this is a gentleman that complains about not being able to get to a field to play baseball on to practice on, right? I'm picking at you. You know I'm picking at you. Right?
Yes, you do.
Even though you did tell me that.
Well, it is true.
All right. Okay.
So, as the mayor said, the other studies that you've seen were really just more of a usage kind of analysis, looking at, the potential cash flows from a facility. And so what you're looking at doing now is a lot more expansive, obviously, with some capital improvements and things like that. So we would assess the total impact of that. So there'd be three aspects, basically. First is the initial capital investment, which is going to bring monies into the cities and so forth. And so there's impact from that. The second would be the usage part, the fees that it generate from the baseball fields. And we were talking about the baseball. We have 6 kids, only have 1 boy. He's actually with me tonight. I had to pick him up from baseball practice. But, baseball is a big thing, and I know we had a really difficult time finding fields and things like that. So a lot of cities around the state are building these fields and trying to draw people in. So that's the second impact would be the usage. And then the third would be the fiscal part, which would be the tax revenues that would be generated for the city. And, there's people always say that you have to spend money to make money. And being in business 31 years, I can tell you that if all you do is spend money, you won't be in business very long. And so this is an investment that the city is making. And so estimating what the impact of that investment will be, what kind of return you get on it, would be very important. So we'd like to be able to submit a proposal to you to do that. I've got just a 1-page kind of cheat sheet that'll tell you more about us and what we would do, and I can leave this with you. Sure. But, you know, in the past, when we've looked at these kind of things, it's probably, you know, it is going to be a positive impact, I feel sure. It's just a question of, you know, what those numbers look like and to help you all make a decision about what you're going to do and what the extent of that would be, so. So I know my time is short, so if you have questions, I'll be glad to answer, but otherwise I will,
What's your name, sir?
Brandon Roberts, yes. So you'll see a little bit about our firm and then the three people that will be working on the project with me, so.
And what's the time frame, length of time that it would take to do this?
It's always kind of dependent on when we get the data, because there's a good bit of information you all have to supply that we haven't seen yet, like what those kind of construction estimates would be and things like that. So, and that's not kind of a one-time thing where the mayor's just going to be able to hand us all that at one time. He's going to hand us information. We're going to have questions. There's going to be clarification. So I'm going to say it's probably at least a 6 to 8 week process from the time we start to the time we finish. And thanks for pointing out the crickets, Mayor. I didn't even notice that. Now I can't unhear it.
I could have gone all night without hearing that, Harry. I could have gone all night without hearing that.
Well, thank you very much. And as I said, any other question, be glad to answer. Thank you.
What are your credentials on that piece of paper?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, and your partner's credentials?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
everybody's is on there. And as I said, I mean, I can talk to anybody, reach out and be glad to discuss more detail what we're going to do. I can't, we'll put together a proposal based on the scope that we know, but, you know, we really would like to do the project for you, so we'll scale it the best we can to what you all are looking for in terms of your priorities. I think it's money well spent because, I mean, you want to know, you know, where you're going to be in the long run, so.
Sure, we're always interested in ROI
Yeah.
and how long it takes to pay the debt off and how much debt it is and all those kind of things. So it's a complicated subject, but we'll get there. We're getting there. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you stopping by. All right. Come on up, Mr. Engineer. So these are big numbers. And just as a reminder, this is grant money that we have, okay, through MDA. So one of the things that we've discovered in this, in two ways. One, you do a bid like this, usually over the last couple of 3-4 years, since all that ARPA money came out, you might get lucky to have 3 or 4 bidders, and you see all these bidders. And that is somewhat of an indication to say the work out there, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months is beginning to dry up a little bit. So there's a lot of competition, which drives down the cost. So the hard cost of what stuff costs is also coming down. So Matthew, I want you to explain to us how much money we started with, what we've got if the board approves this and awards this, and what we're going to have left, because there are 2 or 3 problem areas. If we do that sewer line coming down 18, we don't know if you're going to get into rock. We don't know what you're going to get into. So best to hedge some back, right?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, as the mayor said, these projects out there are primarily being funded by 2 grants that Rankin First put together through MDA on behalf of the city. Those 2 grants total $3.47 million. I'm going to just use round numbers if that's okay. You know, between their portion and the match. There's 2 different grants. The 2 grants, one's a 10% match, the other one's a 16.6% match according to Regina's numbers. It averages out to be 11.5% match on those 2 projects. So some pretty good funding sources there for both of them. Total of $3.47 million. We have currently, as of today, bid 2 projects out. Both of these are water and sewer projects, improving the water and sewer connectivity, if you will, out there. There's 1 leg of sewer that's still left to bid. It would be going up 18 from the corner there at Marquette Road, headed south down 18. That's the one section that has not been bid. And as of to date, with these two bids, currently the total construction cost of those two jobs are at $1.72 million. So as of right now, we're sitting at about halfway, about $1.7 million left to spend. So the cost figures that have come in the last 2 weeks have been overwhelmingly much less than what we've been used to seeing for the last 2 years. Both projects had 9 bidders. They weren't the same 9 bidders. So, I don't know, 11, 12, 13 bidders total between the two jobs that we had. I always make the statement, I've heard the mayor say it too, nothing gets cheaper than it is today. It is right now with this work. So primarily, all the ARPA money, if you're not aware, had to be expended by the end of September, had to be closed out. Some of it was into December, but in a nutshell, all that is running out. So there are some hungry contractors out there, and we've been fortunate to time these well. And I think the size of the projects worked out too. I do think if we had bid them all together, it might have been maybe not quite as competitive. So
fill us on it. I know, but fill us in again where the money is going. The one from Marquette Road is on the south side of Marquette Road to West Rankin.
Yeah, the projects that we've got out there right now is you've got a sewer line coming from the corner of the Pepsi plant at the railroad tracks. There's a metering station there at West Rankin that's going to get us up to Marquette. Then we got a DA's offices coming down to it, and the future project would be to go on down south on 18, but that gets us to Marquette and across Marquette. This most recent project that bid, it brings a water line from Highway 18 through the big hill, the pine trees, over there to the National Guard to connect all that together to get some connectivity there. And then it also brings a water line from the corner of Marquette and the railroad tracks, kind of crossing the new 3-story building that's going in, right there down the railroad spur and around by IP. If y'all have seen where IP is going down there, and connects it to the water line there in the park. And it also includes a sewer line, which will run from that same railroad spur in the park next through and adjacent to the new IP site and to a new potential site there in the middle of that industrial park. So serving two purposes there. So it's a pretty good connectivity there inside the park.
So Alex can handle this, but is there any more that we foresee that International Paper would need for us on their project?
Not that we foresee right now. We've taken care of everything that they requested and we agreed to.
Okay. You know, any questions for Matthew? Water, sewer? Those are big jobs, good time of year to be getting to work on them.
They are for this project. No, they're from down around Brookhaven and Macomb. I think it's Brookhaven. They've done some work up here before in the past. It's been a while. And once again, it goes back to what we're talking about. They've all had enough work that they've kind of stayed in their area. They are primarily more of a rural type contractor, which that's exactly what this project is. It's not a lot out there. It's not like going down Burnham Road or some of the other urban area, College Street that we've done. So yeah, they've done work for the city before.
All right, thank you, Matthew.
Thank you.
All right, that'll solve all that out. Got that done. Any question on all that plethora of things I gave you? So a lot of that's historical stuff, all the way back to 15 coming forward on economic development, but all of those things led us to where we are right now. So if we don't have any more questions, we will take pause and get ready for the board meeting beginning at 6, which is 6 minutes from now, 5 minutes from now. Hello, Miss Annie. All right, we'll get started in 5 minutes. How are you, Miss Annie? Good.
you bow your heads, please? Most gracious Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this day, dear Lord. Thank you for this time that we could come together. Lord, please be with us as leaders of this city. Help us to make decisions that are aligned with your will. Watch over each one of us that are here tonight. Keep us safe, keep us healthy, and as always, dear Lord, please keep us mindful of you. Help us to reach out to others and show them your love. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
Thank you all for coming out tonight. I know you'd rather be in here listening to a squeaky air conditioner than out in the heat, so there we go. No, it's not the data center, Harry, I'm just telling you. All right. So is anyone here this evening that would like to make public comment before the board? Yes, that's a no if we're hearing the crickets. Is that what the crickets are for? All right, we'll move on through the agenda then. I got 2 or 3 things here to talk about, board, and we will progress through the agenda tonight. Left you, board, a synopsis of what we've been working through to prioritize projects. For me, personally, it's easy to see if you're looking at that page, the yellow, which is 1 through 6, where you've got a super majority. Then you got the middle, which is a lot of 4s in there, yeses on 4s. Then you got the red, which you got more no's and you got yeses. So I've kind of excluded the bottom, and I can see where you want to go with the top, or I think I see where you want to go, but just out of my own edification, please, before I go ask architects and engineers and put on the agenda for you to vote on, I'd kind of like a little bit of feedback on those in the middle, 7 through 12. Kind of like to know, your feelings on that. So this was the potential list of 16 things. I added 17 at the bottom, which was somebody asked me to consider swimming. We never did really have that discussion. Trying to mirror, I think, Tupelo a little bit. I don't think we're quite there yet as a city and financially. But that, so I get it. We got 6 and 5 yeses there. We need to move forward with that and get to work on that. Then we've got those at the bottom, which is more no's than yeses, and kind of set those to the side. And then these are the ones that are in the middle. Let the audience know what I'm talking about, board. So I threw those on there, and, I'd hate to spinning my wheels with architects and engineers to create documents to come to you, or put these on the next agenda for you to vote on, and you not be in agreement of what we ought to be trying to do. And again, these are preliminary numbers that you've seen. You don't know, do you bid it, what the actual numbers are. It's really a statement of trying to be careful to not bid something that you, or not pay for the planning if you're not pretty sure you want to go through with it. Now again, that's not that you are going through with it. You won't go through with it till you open those bids. So at that point in time is when you decide to move forward, but it's about spending the money to get there, to get accurate and professional plans. So board, if you could, you give me some feedback, I would much appreciate it as soon as possible on those 4 items, and I'll have something on the agenda for you next time after meeting with architect and engineers. I'll have you agenda items, and I'll group these up in whatever context to try to drive down the cost as best we can. So
Hey,
that's
question. I just got a question on number 12. I know we're getting towards the end of concert season. Do you think it could happen before?
No.
Okay.
No. Again, keep the audience, good question. Thank you for asking that, audience. If you go into the bond market, first it's going to take, our target would try to be April or May to have all the plans together to put out for bids. So you put the bids out, a month later you open the bids, 3 weeks later, something like that, Matthew. And so then hopefully sometime May or June, you would decide, yes, I want to do A, B, and C. And then we would decide to step into the bond market and see what kind of money we could get out there. So it's about, we're still in the planning stage, not gonna do any of these till we get some plans, open the bids, and you say, I wanna build that. Then we're in the money and going. But I need to get to work on the financial side as well with our government consultant people, our professionals with Raymond James that help us work through the financial side of that. Like some of you say, I want to do all of it. I want to do all of it if we can pay for it. Well, yeah, I do too. But I don't know what that is until we get there. So I can tell you what our maximums are. I can tell you what our, I've given you the 15% rule and 20% rule, and I'll be glad to bring those two people in here to next board meeting and share that with you. You know, those are the professionals and that I lean on.
So what you're looking for is for us to give you the go-ahead, to let them go ahead and start working on cost of what potentially it could cost to build these?
You've already got that. I've already
Okay.
given, that was in your packet for
So
like
where
2
do you
weeks
at?
ago.
I guess I'm trying to understand.
Well, there's
what we're
costs
asking.
associated to get to biddable documents.
Uh-huh.
You got to pay somebody to build biddable documents and put it out for bid. So if you're not gonna pay them, then you're not gonna have that. So it's about, spending the money to pay for the bids, to get it, to the plans, to get it out there. You wanna help out, Mark?
Well, what do you need from them? Because, so the professionals were going to present contracts as to the cost to prepare those plans.
That's right.
Okay, have they done that?
Well, no, they're not gonna do that for things that, nobody wants.
Okay, so what the mayor's asking is if you would prioritize how many?
7 through 12.
7,
So 7 through 12, you need enough aldermen to support having the experts provide you an estimate as to how much it will cost to prepare plans for those. Not to go do it, but to give you, so what the mayor's asking is before they can give you an estimate as to how much it's gonna cost to do all the work, they need to know what the work's gonna be.
yeah. This was an exercise in prioritizing
So
what the board wants. And, you know, some down here may want some portion of this, some down here may want some portion of it. But it's an exercise in what the will of the board is.
Can I make a comment?
Please,
I just say that we would start preparing the documents, whatever we need for 1 through 12.
that's simple enough.
1 through 12.
That's what I was gonna ask, is there a difference in doing because of 1 through 6 or doing 1 through 12? Might as well go ahead and do 1 through 12.
Kind of like, it's like Jamie said that night, if nothing else, they're shelf ready.
Yeah.
You've got them shelf ready.
Well, it's one step before that, because what you're asking them to do is to give you a cost estimate to prepare the plans for items 1 through 12, okay? Right? That's the first step, is to know how much it's gonna cost for them to go prepare those plans, right?
I think that's what I said, Mr. Baker.
I'm sorry, I was confused, I apologize.
Well, and then I think the other piece of missing information is, you know, what will the budget hold? What can we essentially spend without causing any problems?
I've given you that in the past 2 or 3 board meetings. I've given you an analysis by Raymond James of what our 15% capacity is and what our 20% capacity is. You would not in any way, shape, form, or fashion want to exceed that. That's within the realm of a comfort zone, if you would. So if it's, and I gave you, there were 2 numbers, one that was general fund and one was enterprise fund, if I remember. Or no, it was 2% in general fund. It's general fund and a 2% fund. And I've told you for a few years that you can build another amphitheater if you want to. You're not going to do that. You're not going to be flippant with money. But that matches the existing revenues that are coming in. We've been piecemealing it around, just speaking about the 2% with the things around this building and some other things. So there's plenty of capacity there. It's just what do you want to spend it on?
Right. I think I was looking at it a little different. I can tell that there's a 15% capacity and a 20% capacity of overall, I guess, what the city is worth, if you will, or the assets of the city, and going up to the limit of 15 or 20%. But I guess just because we can borrow that much doesn't necessarily seem to fit well with me. There's probably, I can go borrow in my household up to whatever number it is, but I probably shouldn't
Yeah,
in that case. So
Well-
I guess I'm looking for the number in our budget, our existing budget, our future projections on, let's say, employee raises, additional costs, fire trucks coming in, water being built, all of those things that we are adding into the budget already. Where does that put us? How much threshold does that leave us? And not even threshold, what's the figure that we could spend probably comfortably without raising taxes? How about that?
The majority of this, with the exception of the fire stations, would be funded through the 2%. So,
the fire stations would be general fund money. I think 3 meetings back or something like that, I went through that and said we had a long conversation with the police department about rebuilding the police department. Decided to pull that off because we still have some potential debt, if you would. If we agreed to put in $6 million to a bridge, if the county got that grant. I haven't gotten any feedback from the county as to the status of that. Several months ago, I don't even know if that's still alive or not. Probably need to revisit that, Mr. Baker, to see if that's a possibility. But anyway, prudent would be if you had $12 to $15 million worth of general fund debt, and we're only going to do 2 stations. That's the prudent part about leaving a third of that untouched. That's the same. That is the process we've gone through. That makes sense. Rather than trying to do all 3 at the same time. So we'll just hold back on that. David, you look like you want to say something.
If we were to follow Harry's suggestion of items 1 through 12, would that be the items that this Premier Insight would come back and give us information on what we might expect from that
Yes,
investment?
yes,
That's what they're going to do for us.
that's right.
But there's going to be a charge associated with that too, right? Do we?
Oh, yeah, that's a big agenda item. That's,
Yeah, I saw it. But that should give us some information that should help us as we make decisions.
That's right. There are many more people than not, I think, sometimes, that don't look at economic development studies as if they are real numbers. I know for a fact our lieutenant governor does not, you know. I don't know how you put your finger on it. If you're looking for a dollar, a green dollar, I don't know that this is going to tell you that. But I can tell you from where we were 10 years ago to where we are right now, both youth sports and events and the amphitheater have carried us to where we are now. So without those 3, we'd still be struggling. But our raises, the improvements we made in many buildings, the debt we've paid off is, as Lindsay Ray, and I'll ask her, see if I can't get her down here from Memphis for the next meeting. As she says, her storyline is Brandon has a good story to tell because we've taken care of business. The board is taking care of business. So
do we need an agenda item, as Mr. Baker said, to ask to produce the cost for these documents for 1 through 12?
No, I can create that and have it on the agenda next time. I just want to make sure that I'm doing what the will of the board is. If it's 1 through 12, that's simple. That's the reason why I broke it down into, I see that, I got questions about that, and I understand that's a no, 1, 2, 3. And I can put that down next time, and I can sit down with them and say, I need you to develop, that's an easy agenda item
This is
for
how
you to
much
say,
Yeah, this is how much it's going to cost.
this is going, how much it costs to do
Prepare
X, Y, and Z,
to
prepare those
the plan.
plans.
That's it.
And that would be a hard number for you to look at, you know, not to exceed.
That's my suggestion. I mean, if anybody, the board can do whatever, but that's my suggestion.
Okay.
It doesn't cost anything to ask them to give us the number, so they're going to give it to us.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then you've got to decide if you want to go forward because
Sure.
they're not going to spend all that time and energy and not be compensated for it. I wouldn't, neither would anybody else. Does that make any sense, board? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So I'm tracking. So I'll get that for you and I'll have it down as agenda item for you next time for consideration. And I'll have them here to speak to it. Okay? All right. Thank you, board. All right, let's continue on the agenda. Those are big steps and taking another step to another plateau, and we should go slow and talk about things like that. All right. To D on the agenda, approve the work session and regular board meeting minutes of August 3rd, 2026, and the recess board meetings minutes of August 4th, 2026.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Sharon Womack, second by Mr. Jared Crane. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you, board. All right. I'm gonna read these in a lump sum, and we can, if you want to pull, discuss, change, we can do it. I'll just go ahead and read them, and that way it satisfies Mr. Baker here. He likes to read everything in. And did you bring your bottle of water tonight? Because you're gonna have it with all these public meetings we're going to. You're good, all right. Number one, consideration to allow the mayor, acting on behalf of the city of Brandon, to sign and execute a loan agreement and promissory note with the Mississippi Development Authority Capital Improvements Revolving Loan Program, CAP, for the purchase of one fire truck in the amount of $1,250,000. Audience, the city of Brandon saved the other half of that money. This is a new aerial apparatus. It's a $2.2 million piece of equipment, and we saved the money to pay for half of that. The other half we're borrowing from MDA on a 10-year promissory note. I can't remember the interest. Becca, can you tell me off the top of your head? 2%? 2%. There you go. So that's what that's about. Number two, consideration to, and now we can take delivery of the truck. Chief, any idea on that? I ask you, just since I'm on this. Okay, waiting on the call right now for delivery. All right. Number two, consideration to approve a placement agreement effective on August 17th, 2026 between Next Fusion Wireless LLC and the city of Brandon. Mr. Baker was kind enough to send me a handout for that. I gave that to you to scan, board. This is a little bit high-tech beyond me, but obviously there's a little bit of potential, and you don't know till you do it. Revenue that can come in, particularly from our ball field, city hall here for large events, and the amphitheater. It's kind of tracking cell phone use. And then when they tie into our systems, there's a little piece of a penny that we'd get off every one of those, and those pennies add up. So that's it. So it's a little bit of revenue stream there, but I can't tell you how much it is until we begin. There is no cost to do this, Mr. Baker.
There's no cost, and they've already gotten with Jared. I understand they've gotten with Jared with regard to the IT issues, and it sounds like we're compatible. Doesn't sound like there's going to be any need for any additional equipment or anything like that. It's a pretty interesting thing, but it's for us. It'll just be if there's some revenue, we'll get some money out of the deal.
All right, thank you, sir. Number three, consideration to approve a professional services agreement from Premier Insights Incorporated, an amount of $32,500 to provide an updated economic impact analysis of the planned parks and recreation. You got one hard copy there, Mary Ann? Well, pardon me? Okay, I don't have one for you at this point in time. Sorry. What you want to do? All right. Okay, we'll pull that one from now and add it to the next time. All right. Number four, consideration to approve the purchase of equipment in the amount of $3,450 for the boardroom reconditioning project. So this is from our communication director back there, and he thinks we've got more problems with speakers than we do microphones. He says the microphone system is really pretty update system. So we'll begin there and see if we can't get rid of some crickets with that and air conditioner. Number five, consideration to approve a quote for 90 Christmas banner decorations from Jubilee Decor in the amount of $8,395 as the lowest and best quote, and amend the budget accordingly. Another quote was received from Dixie Decorations in the amount of $9,670. Folks, this is what goes up and down Highway 80. We've had these that are getting a little dated and a little blistered with sunshine, so it would replace all of those. Number 6, consideration to approve the purchase of an advertisement in Rankin County News, 2026 Brandon Football Edition in the amount of $230. So, board, is there a motion to approve or discuss 1, 2, 4, 5, 6?
Second.
Motion by Mr. David Ferris, who said that? And second, Mr. Jerry Crane. Any further conversations on any of those? Go ahead.
No, I don't know about number 2, actually. I was thinking that, that one's, I don't exactly know what they're getting. I guess that they're getting the data from, cell phone users.
Correct. So if someone takes a picture while they're at the amphitheater and it jumps on our Wi-Fi, there's a mechanism, I think it describes in there, what is it? There's a description in there.
Data offloading.
Effectively what it is the carriers, as I understand it, AT&T and the big carriers, when there's a crunch time, this is an opportunity for them to have their customers go are offloaded off the tower in some fashion, and it eases the crunch, so to speak. And AT&T and those big, and I keep saying AT&T, but the big carriers pay for this service because it's cost effective for them to do this as opposed to building more towers and stuff like that.
Right, then, okay, so it improves the efficiency or allows folks to connect out there that may not, would have been able to use services. I've been
Right.
out there before, okay.
And it's everywhere. They're in airports, they're in places where there's just big crunches. And so effectively, the carriers find that this is cost effective for them to move their customers to another, and it's seamless to the customer. The customer has no idea. It doesn't say anything like that. But when that offloading occurs and AT&T pays NextFusion, then NextFusion pays us. And so it's a little, a lot, could be, you never know. And you won't know until it starts happening. And that's what it does. And you may notice they're kind of new to us, but we've got a favored nation clause in here. So if any other city gets a better deal in Mississippi, county, city, school district, anybody like that gets a better deal, we do too. And then we've got an effective walk away because we put our standard contract addendum in there, which says basically when we get tired, we can leave. And so if we don't like it, we can go.
All right, thank you for the question. Now we got a motion and a second. Any further questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you, board. All right, Miss Mary Ann.
Good evening, everyone. May I take these together?
Please.
Consideration to approve a professional services agreement for the purposes of promoting tourism in accordance with House Bill 1599 and other lawful and related purposes, authorize the mayor to execute the same and approve payment of all show-related expenditures. Live Nation and City of Brandon sell-off agreement. Sosumi Touring, Inc. and City of Brandon Artist Agreement. Animal Teeth Touring, Inc. and City of Brandon Artist Agreement. Consideration to approve payment in the amount of $52 to the Rankin County Chancery Clerk to cover document recording fees. Number 3, consideration to approve the docket of claims for August 17th. Fox Everett claims claimed on August 19th. Electronic fund transfers for July of 2026.
Thank you, Ms. Mary Ann. Is there a motion to approve those items?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Harry Williams, second Mr. Jerry Crane. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you, board. Thank you, Ms. Mary Ann. Alexander. Chief?
Good evening, Mayor, Board. Quick update on North Street, the sewer line going in. We're flowing wastewater now through the sewer line. The most of North Street down to Tamerlan should be open this week.
Okay.
Okay, we got to finish a little bit of work on an old water line, valving it off, but we've made substantial. We're moving to substantial completion.
And you look to have the road open, even though it's gravel?
Yes.
All those cuts by maybe day after tomorrow,
Mhm.
next day?
Yep.
So you'll
By
be
the
able
end
to
of this
travel.
week.
Thanks for the update.
Yes, sir.
So we'll get some asphalt in there as quick as we can, and then we'll add that to the overlay project, right, Mr. Miller? Mr. Matthew Miller? The answer is yes. Thank you very much.
Let me see what I got here. Permission to take these together?
Yes, sir.
1, consideration to adopt a resolution to change the name of Street AA Public in Hyde Park Phase 2 to Hyde Park Place and allow the mayor and city clerk to execute the same. 2, consideration to release the revocable letter of credit dated February 27, 2024 in the amount of $222,363 for Collier Crossing Subdivision Phase 1. 3, consideration to select Benchmark Engineering LLC, Benchmark Engineering Surveying LLC for construction, engineering, and inspection services, CEI, related to the Grants Ferry Parkway Shared Use Path Phase 2 project. 4, consideration to approve pay request 5 in the amount of $122,113.12 from Thornton Construction Company for the Heights Drive roadway and drainage improvements project and authorize payment of the same. 5, consideration to approve the quote in the amount of $14,394 from Dunn Utility Products for concrete pipe for the 2026 overlay project. Second quote was received from Southern Pipe. 6, consideration to approve the quote in the amount of $17,333 from Jose Sierra Construction from the College Street driveway apron modification project at 524 South College Street. 2 additional quotes were received, one from Hemp Hill Construction Company and one from NJ Farms. 7, consideration to set a time on September 21st, 2026 during the regularly scheduled board meeting to receive public comments regarding the discontinuation of fluoride in the city of Brandon's water system. PWS ID number 610003. 8, consideration to approve the following for the Harold Street Waterline Improvements Project. That's 1, adopt an order and resolution allowing the master meter conversion, meter relocation, quote approval, and transfer of maintenance responsibility for the reference meter and water line along Harold Street and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the same. 2, an agreement with Stryker Property Group LLC, owner of that property, and improvements located at the end of Harold Street, and for the purposes of the improvements and transfer of that responsibility as described within, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the same. 9, consideration to approve the quote in the amount of $18,593.38 from Southern Pipe and Supply for the Harold Street Waterline Improvements Project. 10, consideration to award the bid in the amount of $1,200,170.50 to Greenbrier Digging Service for the Highway 18 Rankin First Water and Sewer Extension Project as the lowest and best bid received.
I'll run my mouth. Tracy, you want to be sure that number 10 is paid for? Just a note in there, that's the MDA grant. Board, we're trying to catch these things on the front end so we don't get caught at audit time trying to backtrack and think. Then on number 5, that needs to come out of the Infrastructure Modernization Fund, not the general fund. Number 5? Yep.
It would come out of
That's part of the overlay project. Well,
The
yeah, but that's the Infrastructure Modernization Act. That's where that money's coming from to pay for that. It's not coming out of the street budget. Okay? Which should have gone into the, that's right. Just make sure we don't get sideways. All right, Mr. Baker, have you caught up? No?
The last one more time, I didn't have it in my agenda. It's Greenbrier Digging Service, Inc., $1,270,050, is that correct?
50 cents.
50 cents.
All right,
$1,200,170.50.
Okay. I don't say it that way, so I'm trying to get you. Okay, got you. 2,170,000. Got it. Okay. For the Rankin First Water and Sewer Extension Project, being the lowest and best
Yes,
bid, and authorizing the mayor to execute contract documents.
What'd you say?
yes.
Do you have the document?
It's not
Yes.
showing up on the agenda is the problem. I don't know what the deal is. We didn't get it on the, I thought that's why we held the agenda back, to get it on there Friday before we sent the agenda out. Here it is. It's the heat. All right. 10 items. Is there a motion to approve those 10? Motion by Lou Coker, second by Ms. Sharon Womack. Thank you. Any further question on any of those? All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you, board. Thank you, chief. Board, if you're wondering why he had a special gift over here, you might want to just hold it up and show it to you, though. It's in the box? You want me to tell them a story? You want to tell them a story? You want to tell them a story? Or you want me to tell them a story? Yeah, if you would share, yeah. These people can't hear you. These people can't hear you back here. Well, now they can't hear you.
If you're cleaning your local community, please pick up trash on the side of the road, or in some kind of PPE, gloves, or use some kind of pickup tool. It's my recommendation.
All right, long and short of it is, he put his garbage can out on 468. He picks up trash every time he puts a garbage can out. Anything that somebody throws out. He picked up a bag, and he thought a yellow jacket had stung him. It was pretty significant. So he dropped it, and he went back to it and kind of, did this. There's a bag full of needles. So subsequently, after going to Trustmart and spending an hour and a half, now he's going with some medication and taking some precautionaries, because you just don't know, So I'm just telling you, thank you for doing that. But I know I kind of made a joke out of it, but that's our way, a good man doing good work, and he got popped because somebody's trashing us, throwing a bag of needles out. So thank you, Alec. Appreciate you. Keep up the good work. All right. Yeah. We've been waiting for you.
All right, trial by fire.
Only way to go.
Well, good evening, Board, Mayor.
Go ahead.
We actually have 7 items on the agenda. However, I'd like to remove number 7. We actually had that come into compliance today. So at this point, we would like to remove item 7 from the agenda.
Okay. 7's removed.
We have, yes, sir, I can. Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
We're dealing with 1 through 6.
Yes, sir. 1, consideration to approve a resolution and order adjudicating the cleanup cost of 77 Cross Gates Drive. Number 2, consideration to approve the resolution and order adjudicating the cleanup cost at 79 Woodbridge Road.
Oh, we're going, okay. All right, so we're going to take 1 and 2. So we got a motion to approve by Mr. Harry Williams, a second by Ms. Sharon Womack. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. All right, sir.
All right, number 3, conduct a public hearing and take board action regarding case 26032, consideration to rezone 203 Felicity Street, parcel number 18J-58, PPIN number 32357, from RM8, which is suburban mixed neighborhood, to VMU, vertical mixed use.
Okay. Mr. Director, can you advise the board that all of the prerequisites of the public hearing have been met?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and the matter was presented to the Planning Commission?
Yes, sir.
My understanding, the Planning Commission's action was to approve, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And was a staff report prepared with regard to the application?
Yes, sir.
Are you asking that the staff report, together with all documents and things appended thereto, be appended as part of the public hearing?
Yes, sir.
As exhibits to the public hearing? Can you generally describe the nature of the application for the board and the audience? Okay. Well, let me just be clear. What we're trying to do is, what the request is to rezone a piece of property from RM8 to VMU mixed use. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And basically, the property is at the end of a road that is surrounded by VMU mixed use. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the applicant has submitted an application where the applicant contends that there was a mistake in the recent rezoning and that there's also a change in conditions requiring a public need. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, let's see if there's anyone here who desires to speak in favor of or in opposition to the application. Is there anyone here who desires to speak in favor of the application?
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the petitioner, and I forgot it was a public hearing, so I'm embarrassed at the way I'm dressed, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. I think that the 3 or 4 page memo that included all of the pictures, it also included a statement from the owner, which is Rankin County School District. This is Section 16 land. It also included statements from the immediate neighbors, which would be Talia Dobbs and would be Brandon Discount Drugs, and everybody seems to think that this should have probably been done in the beginning as I've contended, and nobody seems to have any objection that I'm aware of.
Okay. If the board has any questions of you after the public hearing, they'll ask it. Okay?
Very good.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here who desires to speak with regard to the application in favor of? Is there anyone here who desires to speak in opposition? Is there anyone here who desires to make any particular public comment with regard to the application? Seeing none, Mr. Mayor, I ask that the public hearing be closed.
Second.
The motion to incorporate the application and find that the applicant has proven by the requisite burden of proof that there has been either a mistake in the property or a change in conditions and a public need exists so that the property should have been and should be rezoned from RM8 to VMU vertical mixed use. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. I'll include those findings in the ordinance.
Aye.
Yes, sir. 4 is to conduct a public hearing and take board action regarding case number 26033, consideration to rezone 1143 and 1147 Highway 471, parcel numbers 19-22 and 19-18-10, PPIN numbers 663, 525, and 33093 from RE 43, which is residential estate, to CC, which is community center.
Okay. Let me catch up there. First, Mr. Director, it is correct, is it not, that this property is currently zoned RE 32?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so we have looked at the notice that went in the paper, and although the applicant has said 32 throughout, we put 43. But that doesn't change the effect that the property was correctly described, and in that description in the paper, the designation was to be rezoned as requested, which is correct. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So with regard to this, can you advise us whether or not the matter has been presented to the Planning Commission?
Yes, sir.
And
It was,
and do you know what the action of the Planning Commission was with regard to the application?
it was for approval.
Okay. And do you know whether the nature of this application was based on changing conditions within the city and that a reasonable need exists? Is that what the applicant proposed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did your office prepare a staff report with regard to the application?
Yes, sir.
Are you asking that the staff report, together with the documents and things appended there too, be appended to the minutes of the public hearing?
Yes, sir.
And incorporated in? Okay. And during the course of this, and I didn't ask the last time, but the applicant provided that during the course of the application process, do you know, or can you state whether or not you received any particular opposition to the proposed rezoning request?
Yes, sir. I believe we did.
Did we receive any opposition, Alex? Anything?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Will you relay what if any opposition was received with regard to the proposed rezoning?
I couldn't share that.
Do you have that, Alex? We're catching Mr. Lane a little cold. This is his first day coming in, so he's having to carry the water a little bit on this, and so we're all helping a little bit.
Thrust this on.
For some reason, Alex just decided that he was just gonna bail on him, but that's, we don't know. We can't say why.
He was picking up trash on.
Yeah, he was. Needles and whatnot, so. I was carrying him along.
Yeah.
So what happened on this? Tell the board the history on this one.
Yeah, so the properties in question, just to give you some background, on our land use plan from 2025, actually, our land use actually calls for these properties to be CC, this particular corner here. So the applicant has requested through our process to rezone it to match that land use plan. I did receive comments of concern and opposition from the immediate neighboring property to the, I guess that would be the west. She was concerned about the values of her property if this was to be rezoned to CC, the type of business that could possibly be placed there, general concerns of the kind of the long-term value of her particular residentially zoned property immediately abutting what might be in the future a business.
But to be clear, as with the proposed rezoning is consistent with the city's current land use plan, is that correct?
Correct.
I know we didn't ask that in the last application, but the ordinance said so, that one was consistent as well.
Yeah.
And so in relation to that, were you able to give the person that was making the inquiry information with regard to the land use plan and the
Yes,
history
through
of the
the
property and all that good stuff?
Yes, I did mention that this is in line with our land use plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Having heard a general explanation of the application location-wise and what is intended, is there anyone here who desires to speak in favor of the application? In favor of?
Good evening. I'm David Frederick. I am the owner of the properties that are petitioned for rezoning. My intention is to develop these commercially as a future location for my primary business, Frederick Sales and Service, which is on Old Highway 471, approximately a mile from the proposed location. It is my desire to build a new facility there to make my business more visible and to facilitate growth for the future.
Okay. Mr. Frederick, they may have some questions for you after the public
Sure.
hearing closed, probably after if there's anybody in opposition that they may want to hear from, okay?
That'll be fine.
And you're asking, I know your application is part of the record, so just make sure, okay. All right, is there anyone else here who desires to make public comment? Yes, sir, if you would. Yes. Oh, in favor of?
Mr. Mayor, board members, my name is Mac Willis. I'm Mr. Frederick's nearest neighbor out there, and I want to say that he and I had a discussion about this property going commercial. He assured me that the concerns that I had would be taken care of, so it is my privilege to say that I support him 100%. My family and I own that property becoming commercial.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Willis, what's your address?
1131 Highway 471.
Thank you, sir.
And how long?
I'm his next door neighbor.
How long have you lived there?
Sir?
How long have you lived there?
About 50 or 60 years.
That's right.
Coming up on my 60th wedding anniversary too, by the way.
Thank you, Mr. Willis. Thank you. Is there anyone else here who desires to speak in favor of the application? Is there anyone here who desires to speak in opposition to the application? Is there anyone here who desires to make any public comment with regard to the application? Seeing none, Mr. Mayor, I'd ask the public hearing be closed.
All right, public hearing's closed. Board, you got any comments?
Same findings as with the other one?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, motion by Mr. Lou Coker, second by Ms. Sharon Womack. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you, board. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, Mike?
Yes, sir. Item 5 is to conduct a public hearing to consider consider the adoption of a resolution and order adjudicating property located at 123 Martin Road as a menace to the public health, safety, and welfare pursuant to Mississippi Code Section 21-19-11, and authorizing cleanup, securing, demolition, removal, and abatement as allowed by law.
Okay. Let me catch up. Okay. Mr. Director, do you know whether or not notice was provided to the owner of the property pursuant to 21-19-11?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
And notice was given at a hearing today with regard to the plan and city with regard to the condition of the property, is that correct?
Correct.
And you're asking that the notice together with all the documents and things with regard to this, including the staff report, be appended to the minutes of this public hearing, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you advise the board generally of the condition of the property as it currently exists?
At this point, I guess the property owner has not complied with the request of the city to clean the property. It does. Yes, sir. With this particular property, I believe it's the vehicle that's there. I believe that vehicle has been there since 2017.
Okay, so is it simply to remove the vehicle, or is there weeds and other things, or is that what we're doing here?
They actually haven't cleaned the weeds. Well, actually, they have cleaned the weeds, but it's the vehicle itself at this particular property.
Okay. Okay, I see, weeds and grass, accumulation of rubbish, and motor vehicle. You see that? Okay. But you're asking primarily that it needs to be cleaned and cut and the vehicle needs to be removed, is that right?
Yes.
Hey, oh, hello. Well, good, go ahead. I didn't see her up there. Where'd she jump up there? Okay.
I checked the property this morning. As of this morning, the grass has been cut, the bushes have been cut, but the vehicle has an expired tag for 2017. It's covered in buildup and everything. It looks like a dilapidated vehicle that's inoperable. It did move from one stall to the other. I don't know how it did that. But that is one of the complaints of the neighbors in the neighborhood, that this vehicle has sat there for so long, not being moved. The house grew up. A lot of things got blown up under the carport and stuff. If we could get in there and get that vehicle removed, or if the owner could clean it up and get a current tag and show that it's operable, we would be happy.
Okay. Well, have you talked to the owner?
She called today thinking we had a court date. I informed her that it was a public hearing in front of the Board of Aldermen and that she would be here at 6 o'clock. I'm not sure if she is here.
Okay, well, we'll see in a minute, okay? And so, to just kind of bring this together, it's the vehicle at this point. Okay. All right. Thank you. We're gonna ask for the owner to come forward if she's here, or anybody who's interested in 123 Martin Road. Now's your time.
Yes, sir. My name is Brandy McCrory, and I am the owner of this property. I have cleaned the yard, I've trimmed the bushes, I've hauled off the limbs. The only thing I feel like that's not in compliance at this point is the vehicle, and I do have something in the works to get that vehicle removed from the property. I did not know that there was a citation in the yard. As I do not live in that property, that is a property that's sentimental to me, and I try to do my best to maintain it. Thought someone was coming by to cut the grass, and they were not. So I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to make it right, and I will have the vehicle removed.
Okay. So sometimes cities move slow and sometimes they move fast. But I expect there's going to be an order entered today that says get it removed. And if we have to remove it, then we have to throw it away, and then we have to charge you to do that. Okay?
Right.
And we're going to put a lien on the property. 'Cause
Right.
you've heard Cassie say that you've done the grass stuff and everything like that. It's just going to be a hassle for you for us to do it, but we will, and we can. So in the board's mind and the mayor's mind, he's going to want to know, okay, when you say you're going to get it removed, when are you going to get it removed?
When?
In the next 2 weeks, if you can
Okay.
give me 2 weeks. I work 60 hours a week at Rogers Dab Chevrolet, so I actually left work early to come here today, which I knew I had to. But I do have something in the works in the next 2 weeks to have the vehicle removed to a different location.
All right. Well, I'm sure the board will take that into consideration in the action and everything like that. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the board?
No, sir. I just thank you for the opportunity to make it right.
So I'd ask the board, I'm gonna give you a target date, or ask the board to give you a target date, I'm gonna give you extra time. September the 8th, that's the day after Labor Day, so you can get it gone by then?
It's more than fair.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The board, if you would remember that.
I expect the action then will be that to clean the property by removal of the vehicle, and if the vehicle is not so removed by September 8th, then the board, then the city folks will come do that.
Yes, sir.
Okay? All right.
Understood.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. All right, what else you got, Mr. Baker?
Well, we need action, we need
Yeah,
to close, excuse me, I'm sorry. Is there anyone else here who desires to speak with regard to the matter before the board at this public hearing? Seeing none, Mr. Mayor, I'd ask that public hearing be closed. If the board is inclined to find that the condition of the property as it exists in insofar as to the vehicle constitutes a menace to the health, safety, and welfare of the citizenry, then we move to adopt a resolution to that effect, and to clean the property by removal of the vehicle on or before September 8th, on or after September 8th if the owner has not done so or so. Okay? That would be the motion in action we need, Mayor.
Thank you. Board, is it? Who said that?
Dave Farrell.
Motion by Mr. David Ferris, second by Mr. Jerry King. And any further discussion or comment? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. There you go, Brandon. Thank you. All right, Mr. Baker.
Okay.
Number 6.
All right.
Mike, brother.
Yes.
Mike, go ahead.
Yes. Conduct a public hearing to consider the adoption of resolution and order adjudicating property located at 207 Apple Ridge Road as a menace to the public health, safety, and welfare pursuant to Mississippi Code Section 21-1911, and authorizing cleanup, securing, demolition, removal, and abatement is allowed by law.
All right. Cassie's here on this one too. Come on down. All right, I am looking in the file on this one to make sure, and my file cut, this is 207 Apple Ridge?
Correct.
I don't see what I'm trying to be seeing, like the notices and all that. Are they here in the file?
Yeah, thanks.
I see a staff report, but I don't see. Okay. Okay, Cassie, I see the original notice that was posted and provided to the property owner, as required by statute on July 31, 2026. And in that notice, you advised the property owner, well, you advised several people with regard to the property that there were concerns with regard to accessory buildings, some exterior property areas, accumulation of junk and rubbish, some junk vehicles, appliances, and equipments, and general nuisance issues. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Have you had an occasion can you advise the board as to the current condition of the property?
When I went and checked the property this morning, the burned structure had been removed. There's some leftover lumber and things where the building was sitting that's still there. There is a toilet and some more construction materials sitting beside the house. There's accumulation around the back side of the house. It just needs a little bit more work to clean it up.
Okay.
They have made an effort, though.
All right. Have you talked to the owner?
No, sir.
Have you talked to anybody that claims responsibility?
The lady that lives at the residence who claims to live there, I think her name is Miss Miner. I spoke with her back in March when we done a sweep through that area, asking all the residents on that street to clean their properties. The city placed 2 dumpsters at the end of Apple Ridge in order to allow people to come and put accumulation from their properties and stuff into those dumpsters and get that area cleaned up. I do not believe that anything from that 1 yard left the property at that time.
Okay. So you're asking the board to find and determine that the property in its current condition constitutes a menace to the public health, safety, and welfare of the community, is that correct?
Yes.
And you're specifically asking for permission or the board to determine by resolution that you can go on the property and clean the property, is that correct?
Yes.
And specifically in cleaning the property, you're asking to remove the accumulation, right?
Yes.
Any vehicles or anything like that, or is it just like stuff like the commode and stuff like that?
I believe back in March, she brought all the vehicles that had expired tags up to date and got them current.
Okay, so if I say, or the board says, remove the accumulation, of debris and whatnot, we know what we're talking about? How would you like to describe it in the resolution?
The accumulation would be burned wood, garbage, trash, things that are disposable that you would normally throw in for waste management to pick up.
Okay. All right, no vehicles, no houses tearing down, nothing like that?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. Is the owner or anyone in interest of the real property here who would like to come forward and speak? Cassie, don't go anywhere. She may want to ask you some good.
Good afternoon, Mayor and members of the board. I am Katrina Gibbs. I represent several of the homeowners. This is Air property. Most of the homeowners they don't live on the property. A couple of them live out of state. And so we're not aware of their responsibility or the condition of the property. So initially we are asking for more time to clean up the property. But we did want to know, it's only one person, it's like 5 sisters, right? And one sister lives there. The other sisters had no idea about the condition of the property, just found out about this notice, and so we're going to clean it up. There has to be some ownership things done through Chancery Court, because most of the things that own the property now were not brought there by the homeowners, but other family members. So we got to get some ownership stuff cleaned up in Chancery Court. But we do ask the court, ask the board for more time to clean it up.
Ms. Gibbs, if the
Yes.
board was going to enter an order today, what kind of time were you talking about?
We asked for 30 days, and also I would like to look, I heard the allegations and application, but I would like to look at the photographs so I can be specific and find out exactly. And then if there's someone in compliance that I can speak to make sure it's done proper, because we really don't want to have to deal with this again. We want to get it cleaned up,
Sure.
and we don't want to be responsible, and my clients don't want to be responsible for any of this.
Well, certainly, I think it needs to be there needs to be clarity of mind as to what needs to be done, and Cassie would be point of contact on that. Well, I guess Mike is going to say Cassie would be point of contact. And so what you're at, so if the board entered a resolution that said if the owners or those in interest don't do so themselves within 30 days of the action, then the board will go do that, would that be sufficient?
Yes, and it's my understanding that if it's not done, then the lien would be, or the cost would be access to the property, not to the individual owners.
That's correct.
Okay, yes, that'd be
Well,
fine.
to the property, not to the owners. But,
Yes.
so if the board put a 30-day fuse in that you think we could get that done?
Yes.
Okay. Not saying they would, I'm just asking, with that. Okay.
That'd be my request.
Thank you. The board may in fact have some questions about that. Let me go through and see if anybody else is here tonight. Do you have anything you'd like to offer in the record or anything like that? Go ahead, I'm sorry, man.
No, you good. First, Mike and Cassie, are you available to meet? When are you available to meet? She wanted to see all the file and the pictures and that kind of stuff. When are you available? All the 3 of you standing? Anytime? Are you available to meet tomorrow?
Not tomorrow, but I'll be glad to give her my cell number, and I can meet tomorrow afternoon.
Can
For
you
sure.
do a Zoom or something over the phone?
That's all
Right.
Yeah, the sooner the better. Board, our first, appreciate that, Harry, getting out to September, but our next board meeting
I would say
October 5.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask for, October 5th. That's the first board meeting in October.
We got a holiday week in there, so I would say October 5, if that works.
Well, I was just thinking, the last one, what we did, we took the action and we did whatever. It might be that we just recess this public hearing until October 5, and if it's all clean then, we just cancel the whole thing and not go forward. And if not, then the board can adopt the resolution. How about that? Will that work?
I'd rather go ahead and put it on the record to where if October 5 rolls around, that we can take action October 6
Okay,
if
got it.
necessary.
Got you.
I wouldn't want to wait till October 5 to get wheels rolling. Is that
Okay.
sufficient for you? That's extra time, couple extra weeks? That good for you? I just want to.
That's fine.
It's about 45, 46 days.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so the resolution, we'll do that at the public hearing close. Is there anyone else, let's see real quick, is there anyone else who desires to speak with regard to the public hearing? A matter presently for the board?
Just so the board would know, the other sisters that are in town, they are here.
Who are they?
Fanny Haslett, Bobby Scott, and Ethel Minor.
Thank y'all for coming tonight.
Ethel
Minor, M-O-N-R.
They
and
won't say-
Fanny
Haslett.
Haslett?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Would any of them like to say anything, or you're the spokesperson for all?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Mayor, I'd ask the public hearing be closed. I'd ask that the board find, adjudicate, and determine that the property in its current condition is a menace to the public health, safety, and welfare of the community, and if the owner or those in interest don't do it themselves on or before October the 5th, 2026, that the board authorize city employees to then clean up the property as generally described, removing the rubbish and the debris and the things that are there that have been related by the Community Development Department.
Thank you, Mr. Baker, for working through that. Appreciate that, board. Appreciate that time. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Jared Crane, second by Ms. Sharon Womack. Any further discussion, comment? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you, Mike.
Mayor, I have a question about item number 7 that we were removed from the agenda. I went by there probably 6 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and they'd cut about 3 shrubs. So I would like to know how they came in compliance with rotten porches. The north side of that was taking over residents.
Hang on, that's Mike and Cassie. Talking about Lewis Wilson.
Oh, 215 Lewis Wilson? Yes, sir. We met with them last Friday, not a couple of days ago Friday, but the Friday prior. They came up from Florida, where they spend most of their time. We walked the property, and I explained to Mr. Martz what all would have to be done. He had concerns that it would be hard finding a landscaper that could get it all done before this public hearing. And I let him know we understood that things can be done in phases, but I needed to see significant progress at the property before the date for the public hearing, and I needed a plan in place of what was going to take place. When I got back from conference on this past Friday, they were working on the property over the weekend. That property, the whole entire front of the house, is now visible from Lewis Wilson. If you look at the pictures that are in the file and what you would see today, there was a significant change. That is the first phase of it. As this heat wave lifts and they can get more people to come in and do repairs, they do plan on making the repairs to the rotten wood. They have cleared out the bushes around the house, and you can now see into the backyard from Lewis Wilson, which you could not before. And you can start to make out the fence that is between them and the neighbor that is on East Jasper.
What's the plan for that?
All of the underbrush will be gone. It will be lawn, and the main trees will stay.
When will it be gone?
They plan to do this over the next 6 months to have that property to where,
Okay.
I would like to add item 7 back to the agenda.
yes, sir.
The file says this has been going on since 2023. It's been going on long before that. This is an absentee owner, and the only time they go over there and clean up is when we get on them to clean up. So they're causing flooding on neighbors' property because of the overgrowth. The house is falling in, it's rotten. They don't care until somebody gets on them. And we've been dealing with this for 5 years now.
Yeah, well, I don't disagree.
I understand that, but if we told them not to be here tonight, and we can't, in good conscience, go forward with the hearing, we'll have to give them new notice and set it back up for them to come. And it's only 10, it's quick, we'll have them here for the next meeting, or as soon as we can get the notice out.
So we just gonna table this, and we don't have to publish it in the paper?
Yeah, I would like to table it until the next meeting and see the progress. I went by there at 6 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and it was not in compliance yesterday afternoon.
Okay, let's do this.
Hang on.
Which property, was this
Just take a pause.
This is 215 Lewis Wilson?
All right, we're already going to continue this meeting on the 27th. We are recessing this meeting tonight until the 27th. So does that sound like a logical thing to add to that meeting, Marion? What? So? No, I wouldn't think so.
We're not removing this, we're
continuing this meeting.
continuing
until the
this
27th.
meeting.
It's nothing detrimental to them, this is to their advantage.
I just don't want to break any notice requirements for the public hearing or for the
We're going to continue, the motion is going to be to continue the, cleanup hearing, public hearing, continue the public hearing, to, August 27th during the recess board meeting.
Which is this meeting. We're recessing this meeting for the 27th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cassie, you're gonna need, and Mike, y'all gonna need to get in touch with the owners and let them know that the public hearing has been continued to August 27, 2026, document it and make sure they're aware of it so they can be here for that. If they wanna be, they don't have to be. But I wanna make sure the file's clear that, they've got notice that this has been continued, okay?
Okay.
Awesome, thank you. Mayor, we just need a motion and a second on that.
Okay. Chris, you got the motion?
To continue?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Chris Benson, second by Ms. Sharon Womack. Are we clear, board? Any question on that, what we're doing? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you, board. Thank you, Mr. Baker. Thank you all. Thank you, Chris. Chief, how you doing today?
Good, how are y'all? Good evening.
Good evening. Happy
I
birthday.
Thank you. I have 5 items. I'd like to take them together.
Yes, sir.
Item number 1, consideration to amend an ordinance of the City of Brandon, Mississippi, amending Section 78, there's a lot of sections of Chapter 78, Traffic and Vehicles, Article 5, Wrecker Services of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Brandon, Mississippi, and adding Section 78-111, Commercial Motor Vehicles, Non-Consensual Towing, Recovery, and Storage thereto, to conform to and implement Mississippi Code Annotated 6337-1 and following 1972 is amended, and the Mississippi Commercial Vehicle Towing Manual adopted by the Mississippi Commercial Towing Advisory Committee, and repealing all ordinances in conflict therewith. Number 2, consideration to grant permission to transfer John Arterberry from the Brandon Fire Department to the Brandon Police Department as an officer trainee effective August 31st, 2026, and set his rate of pay in accordance with the memo. Number 3, consideration to hire Jeffrey Grace as a paid part-time patrol officer effective August 18th, 2026, and set his rate of pay in accordance with the memo. If you two wouldn't mind standing up, please. Okay. Thank y'all. Number 4, consideration for Mayor Butch Lee and City Clerk Mary Ann Hess to sign the school law enforcement officer agreement regarding the placement, salary, and benefits of 2 Brandon police officers for the 2026-2027 school year. And number 5, consideration to issue a check to the Kansas Highway Patrol in the amount of $275,625 for 1 2022 Dodge Durango Pursuit all-wheel drive, 3 2023, etc. all-wheel drive, and 3 2024 Dodge Durango Pursuits. They will be purchased with the department's drug seizure funds.
And board, that is in next year's FY. We're doing this just in case the phone rings between now and October, that we can go ahead and act. So we just wanted to set the stage for that. Money's sitting there. Okay. All right. Thank you much.
I just was gonna say on item number 1, huge overhaul, but this came from an event that happened in Brandon. French was the police chief, it was the ice storm, and there was an 18-wheeler that wrecked on the interstate, and we didn't call the towing company to come get that 18-wheeler, a towing company just showed up, and that 18-wheeler was charged $108,000 to move his vehicle wherever they moved it. And we thought that was outrageous. And so French called me, I called them, said, we have an ordinance on this, you can't do it. And so they changed all that and adjusted it, but ultimately led to legislation that addresses non-consensual pickups on commercial, where the people just show up. And it's apparently was a problem all over the country, but at least it's been addressed here.
Right.
All right. 5 items. Is there a motion to approve those 5 items?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Sharon Womack, second Ms. Jerry Crane. All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you, board. Thank you, chief.
Thank you, board.
Good evening.
All right.
I'm gonna take all 4 of mine together, sir.
Still hadn't gotten word on that delivery yet?
Not yet.
All right.
Hopefully, we get the money transferred, it'll be here by the end of the week, hopefully. That's my plan.
All right.
Or we have to make a trip to Fairhope to pick it up. I don't know. We'll make it happen. All right, item number 1 is request consideration for myself, Chief Wolford and Chief King and Chief Stringer to travel to Oxford to attend the Midwinter Fire Chief Conference, December 14th through 17th. Item number 2 is request consideration to authorize travel for Captain Travis Kahn to travel to Biloxi, Mississippi for the 2026 Mississippi EMS Conference, October 11th to the 14th. Request consideration to approve the attached quotes for the annual maintenance for our fire trucks on the engines and ladder trucks, totaling of all POs to be $8,206.49, and authorize the payment of the same. Item number 4 is consideration to authorize Division Chief King to execute paramedic school verification form once it is received from school EMS to approve payment for all expenses for Captain Robert Myers to attend paramedic school for the school EMS.
Thank you, Chief. Is there a motion to approve these items? Who said what? All right. Motion by Mr. David Ferris, second by Ms. Sharon Womack. All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Board.
Thank you.
Board like to retire to determine the necessity of being in executive session. Motion by Ms. Sharon Womack, second by Mr. Harry Williams. All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you, Board. All right, folks that are left in the room,